Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody here. So, this is another update on Shopify. I do have the gray hair reversal is available in both a 4 ounce and 8 ounce. All right. And quite a few of you have ordered already, and I have your packages ready to go out. Here is the link, and it's over on Shopify. So, it is available, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, we're going to talk about something that has come up. DOGE may be closing 31,000 U.S. post offices around the country, closing the ones that they deem as, they're not making enough money. So, it's a burden. So, this is going to have a huge impact in the country. Not to mention, they laid off over 10,000 postal workers, and yes, some of them were your mail carriers last week. And that's why I was trying to warn everybody it's going to be way more than just the 10,000 that they laid off. It's going to be way more. And 31,000, that's very significant. That is very significant. So, less workers, things are going to slow down. It's already slowing down. Like I said, I ordered labels, which usually come in 3 to 5 days. I'm on day 14 and I still don't have my labels. And so I'm still waiting. And this is more or less for the new products that I was going to put out. I have the deodorant for my skin site. I have some deodorant and I'm still waiting for the labels so that I can post my vegan deodorant. And I have the Chebe rose water hair growth spray. I have that ready. I got it in jugs in my house. And I'm right now, I have to wait for my labels to come in before I can post those things. So it is to come, but we should not be shocked. Anything Elon is involved in is going to be nothing but destruction, for real. So let's get into this. And the Republican, very Republican, Louis DeJoy is for this too. He's for it. All right. So this is your Postmaster General. He is for this. So the head of the U.S. Postal Service is going to have DOGE slash the number of loss-making local post office units, that are all around the country. And he said there are some that have been struggling for a long time, but the post office have been struggling for many years. And they've been shorthanded for decades. So it should not be shocking. So DOGE is going to help with the U.S. Postal Service finances, which I absolutely don't trust Elon with finances, above water reviews and retail center leases. So it's going to be locations where they're no longer going to pay the lease on those buildings. So not only are the people going to lose their jobs, some will be relocated, but many are going to lose their jobs, and leases are not going to be paid on U.S. Postal Service retail centers. And they're also talking retirement plans for people that want to retire before this happens. Workmen's compensation, among other things, are now in discussion. So if this 31,000 is to close, it's going to happen this year. The vast majority of it is going to happen this year. So DeJoy said the Postal Service real estate portfolio of nearly 31,000 retail centers has become increasingly burdensome, in need of cut, with approximately half of the country's postal locations failing to cover their cost of location operations. So, in other words, they're not generating enough income. So, any site that is not generating enough income will be closed down. So, that's what he's saying. The Postmaster General added the future lease renewals could be even more difficult to support financially due to issues such as ownership consolidation, rent increases, and urban development. So, what they are coming up with plans for unprofitable locations to shut down. So, DOGE will be helping to deal with the unfunded congressional mandates, leveraging post office locations to better serve federal agencies and combating counterfeit postage, which DeJoy claims has the cost of about $1 billion. These are the only initiatives that I have requested and authorized the DOGE team to assist on thus far. Only the data and information required to pursue these initiatives will be provided to the DOGE team members, DeJoy wrote, vowing to report any expansion of scope to Congress and to uphold the agency's status as an independent establishment of the executive branch. It is important to me that Congress and the public understand that DOGE engagement is not expansive, but directed, DeJoy said. I am not adverse to offers to help that we move in this direction. We are already traveling. So, wow. So, the Postmaster General also rejected suggestions that his efforts to address the agency's financial burdens were a form of bailout or intended. So, in other words, he said he doesn't even want um, them to even try to bail them out by giving them money to help them keep these places that are underperforming open. He doesn't want that. So I don't know. I'm just, my guess, they're denying it, but I have to tell you, I think they're going to privatize this whole thing. I think they're going to privatize it, or it's going to go to some rich person and they're going to run it. And you know how it is. They always play this psychological warfare game on us. Oh, it's going to help all of us. No, it's just going to help those rich people. They always say this to us and it never happens. When they say it's going to help all of us, no, it's going to help the rich people get richer. That's all this is going to do. So So privatization, they're denying, but I'm just telling you, I believe they're going to privatize it. All right. So the postmaster is trying to rewrite history after cutting a backroom deal to turn the keys of the post office over to Elon Musk. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And if Elon gets a hold of it, all he knows how to do is dismantle everything. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And the Democrats and the Republicans are going to sit right there and watch him tear apart the US Postal Service. So, but that's exactly what DeJoy is talking about. He wants to turn everything over to Elon and DOGE, and they do whatever they need to do. And Elon don't pay attention to nothing. And what he will ultimately do, in my opinion, he's going to dismantle good performing postal offices around the country too. And you see how, look at what's going on. They let 24,000 people go, well, 24,000 plus, and a judge just ruled that Donald Trump got to reinstate all these jobs, and they're in the process of reinstating all the jobs that Elon and DOGE took away from people. And Donald Trump too, because Donald Trump is the president. So he's involved in these people losing their jobs as well. So now, y'all, they're placing this in the hands of Elon. The Postal Service will never be the same. I'm just letting you know, it will never be the same. It's already slowed down significantly. I mean, even I notice it, and many other people do too. Now, here's my thoughts. I'm going to actually be transitioning, which I'm doing right now, over to UPS, and hopefully by May I can do a full transition over to them and not even bother with the US Postal Service anymore. But in all reality, none of them are really that great, and UPS will lose your packages too. So I'm just telling you, there's not a lot of good options right now. FedEx, FedEx is okay, and I do have an account with them, but they charge way more than UPS or the post office. They're more expensive. So, wow. I mean, this is going to be a bad thing, number one, for all businesses across the country. Anybody that is expecting court documents, or you got to make a court appearance and the mail is running slower, you may actually miss your court date. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things. There are people, because when my mother was alive, towards the end, all of her meds were coming in through FedEx. And some of it was coming through the US Postal Service. And there's a lot of people that depend on getting their medication through the mail. There's a lot of people that still get checks in the mail. There are people that still get paper checks when they get paid. And everything is going to significantly slow down. And what's going to ultimately happen after they get finished laying more people off at the US Postal Services, the ones that are working are going to feel overwhelmed, and things are not going to get done. That's what's going to happen. You can't overload your people that are already overloaded out here. So, yeah, y'all, woo. Mm, mm, mm. This is bad on so many levels. So, Connolly said, DeJoy, this is one of the politicians, and he said DeJoy could not recognize the independence of the Postal Service while putting out the welcome mat for DOGE to forcefully and unlawfully implement his favorite reforms behind Congress back at the expense of Americans' mail service and the agency independence. Last week, DeJoy told Congress that he was planning, and he already did. They slashed 10,000 jobs already. It's already done. And they're doing it through voluntary early retirement program in cooperation with DOGE and the General Services Administration. So, y'all, this is the latest. So, mail service in America is about to tank pretty much, because Elon ain't going to do nothing but gut it all out. And Ultimately, you probably if you gotta go to the post office, you probably will have to drive a lot further away from your home to reach a post office after they get finished shutting thousands of them down in the country. How you doing, Queen Amadiah? Um, so y'all, this is bad on so many levels. It's not even funny. And me as a business person, this is definitely gonna I'm not saying it's gonna put me under, but it is going to be burdensome because it's already taking too long for you to get your packages. It's going to be even worse once Elon and DOGE get in there and start gutting it and everything. It's no telling how long it's going to take you to get your mail for real. Mhm. Well, I mean, according to what they're saying, they really don't want to expand. I don't think they're looking to expand. They're just trying to do away with what they deem as underperforming post offices. So you may have like a small one, and they may look at that and say it's just not generating enough revenue and they'll shut it down. Mm, no, I mean, really not too much happens to them when your mail is and my mail is late all the time. If that's the case, I would be having them find all over the place. Mhm. Yeah. Are you mailing something to a loved one and you need it to get there in a certain time frame? Ah, this is just gonna be bad all the way around. I just don't see no good in what they're about to do. I don't see it, y'all. So, you're gonna have to tell me what you think in the comment section, y'all. I would love to hear what you think. And, when I feel this way, when you see Elon coming, no good is going to come from it. That's how I see it. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your night. And we'll definitely come back on another topic. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of your comments. Yeah, he is. Donald Trump and his administration are already reinstating those jobs. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, they look stupid. You did all that slashing and running people off, and at the end of the day, you got to bring them all back. You look silly at this point. Hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, y'all. There's so many twists and turns. Almost anything could definitely happen, from this whole situation with the Postal Service. Mm, mm, mm. Mhm. Yeah, I feel bad. I mean, look, on my street alone, there are a couple of people that work for the post office, you know? And I don't know whether they got laid off or not. I would certainly have to go talk to them, but um I do have a couple of people around me that I know personally, and they work for the post office. Yeah, well, Louis DeJoy, he really was not a good choice to put in there, and he's been there since the first Trump administration. But I never thought he was a good choice to be, in charge of the post office at all. I mean, he's just not the kind of person that can take it to the next level. All he could do was sit there and continue to destroy it. All right, y'all, I gotta really go. Shalom, family.